They're beautiful, striking, colorful creatures. These worms bounce across coral like caterpillars of the deep. But those furry-looking spikes aren't as soft as they appear.
There's really no other group of worms that are quite as spiny as this. And that's why they're called fireworms.
The fireworm's world is tough. It lives on tropical reefs, teeming with life, but also potential predators. A worm makes a great snack for almost every passing carnivore, and that's why the fireworm is fighting back.
There's lots of things that would like to eat a nice juicy worm. Instead, they've developed these bristles, which are quite hard, all the way along their body. A passing fish or a large snail is not going to want to eat this because in order to get to the soft juicy body, they've got to get a mouthful of these spines.
And the fireworm's pretty appearance is also a danger sign. Attack and you're in for a mouthful of pain.
It's basically sending out warning signals. Leave me alone, leave me alone.
Unfortunately, the flashy fireworm also attracts inquisitive divers who don't just look, they touch.
I have actually witnessed perhaps slightly naive divers picking one of these up. Even though they were wearing thin gloves, the spines went through the neoprene gloves, and when they take their hands out, they're all swollen. They have really reacted to those spines and to the poison at the base.
Fireworm by name, fireworm by nature. Get a sting under your skin and it'll ignite a burning sensation. The bristles are a bit like bee stings. Some people react worse than others. For many, there's intense itching or numbness, painful but not serious. If you're allergic, it's a whole lot worse.
I have seen people, when they've taken their dive glove off, even though they thought, well, I can pick up an animal because I've got a dive glove off. No, you can't. I've actually seen their hands 2 or 3 times larger than their normal hand.
The fireworm is a polychaete, the most diverse and abundant of the worm groups, with around 20,000 species. For a large group of invertebrates, there is still a lot experts don't know about these worms, particularly where they live in the world and how they're related to each other. In Australia, fireworms can be found around the country on reef flats, but you're most likely to see them in warmer northern waters. Adults range in size from 5 to 35 centimeters. They're voracious carnivores, feeding on coral, anemones, and small crustaceans.
They basically can invert their mouth, and then they can basically attack to their prey. And there's some data that they actually secrete some enzymes. As soon as they catch their prey, they're starting to digest it, and then they can suck that sort of partially digested animal back into their gut. They're not catching fish as they swim past or anything like that. So basically they're trapping sedentary or fairly slow-moving organisms.
Luckily for humans, being slowly consumed by a fireworm is off the cards, but they're still out and about, ready to strike thanks to their hollow bristles that are loaded with poison produced by glands at the base of each spine.
This is why when you dive on the reef, on the Great Barrier Reef for instance, you'll see these things in the middle of the day just strolling around on top of the reef because nobody wants to eat them, so they're safe.
To stay safe, humans need to follow the rules of the animal kingdom. Don't touch. Those brittle bristles can break off in your skin and cause a nasty reaction that can last for days or even weeks.
If you're snorkeling, I mean basically the worms are brightly coloured, quite often large, that size, just swimming or just crawling, as it were, gliding over the surface. Keep your eyes open, just leave them alone.